If you're a fan of incense perfumes, we have a real treat for you today. This is a brand new release from the brand Parfumeur. Of course, those of you who are familiar with this brand know that this is a French brand. This one is called 403 Myrrh Shadow. It's brand new. It just came out. I know they're available in a major department store, so please, if you can find your way out there, please sample it for yourself. This is an incense perfume that does not necessarily smell like a church. I know a lot of people are looking for that wearable, versatile, really accessible type of an incense perfume. Myrrh Shadow is the way to go. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this fragrance in just a little bit, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on the brand new 403 Myrrh Shadow by Parfumeur, I just got this bottle in and I've been really excited to wear this one, especially considering the fact that I am a fan of amber. I'm a fan of Peru Balsam and benzoin, labdanum, amber accords in general, and of course the namesake of this perfume, which is myrrh. But before I start the video, I do want to mention that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, and of course, if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me, and it's absolutely free for you. So here's the thing. I'm going to drop a link to this product down below. It's not an affiliate link. I'm not making any commission on it or anything like that. I just want to make it more accessible for you to discover the product in the event that my description of this fragrance sounds enticing or it encourages you or inspires you to try it for yourself. So here we have a myrrh-based fragrance. Now, of course, myrrh is a type of incense. There are a few different varieties of myrrh, right? So there's sweet myrrh, which is otherwise known as Apopanax. It's found in fragrances like Jubilation 25 by Amouage, which is one of my favorite perfumes ever. And then, of course, we have a bitter variety of myrrh, which almost kind of smells rubbery. I've had myrrh essential oil in the past, and I'm not a fan of the bitter myrrh variety, but I'm not getting that in this one. As a matter of fact, I am getting that rich sort of incensey, slightly sweet myrrh. And I also say that because this does have some vanillic facets. Anyway, I'm not going to get carried ahead or carried away rather. I'm going to talk to you about the smell in just a little bit. Let's start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. Now, as soon as this fragrance opens up, just like I said previously in this video, it does open up with that myrrh ingredient. So it is going to give off this incensey vibe, and it has this ancient sort of ethereal presence about it. It's really hard to describe. It's quite effable when it comes to this perfume. There are certain fragrances that I have in my collection where you're not going to be able to put a finger on the pulse of what you're getting right away. And this is one of those fragrances. You look at the note breakdown and that's when you're going to have that aha moment, as it were. So for me, it's a little musky, it's a little vanillic, there's benzoin, there's also a bit of pepper in here. So there's a bit of like this spicy component, which is interesting because a lot of times you think of incense, you think of smoke, right? And that's usually the dark thing that offsets the composition. Now the darkness in this fragrance is predominantly coming not from smoke, but from pepper. So this is a really interesting take on that sort of incensey, slightly vanillic DNA. At times, I was almost getting like Tom Ford Oud Wood vibes from this. So just imagine the same exact scenarios in which you would wear Tom Ford's Oud Wood, you would also wear Myrrh Shadow by Parfumeur. So it has that sort of mysterious yet professional DNA. It almost has like this Casanova quality about it as well, but it's not playful in any regard, you know? Playful is an adjective that I typically reserve to describe fragrances that possess a bit of sweetness. That's not what's happening here. This fragrance has the vanilla, but I'm telling you, and I assure you, it is not a gourmand vanilla. So if you're expecting something that's going to be rather sweet, something that's going to be too heavy-handed on the vanilla, and, you know, perhaps maybe some other resins like labdanum, which sometimes has a propensity towards leaning sweet, that's not what you're going to get in this one. This is a very sort of, dare I say, dry amber fragrance. It's mysterious. It is super long lasting on my skin. I'm getting personally in the vein of like 10 plus hours, which is not something that I can say about all Bon Parfumeur fragrances. Truth be told, especially the ones that start with a 0, those are usually the ones that are very citrus heavy. And of course, the olfactive family of the brand and the way that they have it compartmentalized or categorizes, you have to look at the number that it starts with. And I have not committed them all to memory, so I do apologize for that. But I do know that the ones that start with a 0 are very fresh and citrus driven. Those you're not going to get stellar longevity from. This one, on the other hand, of course, with Myrrh being in the name, that's a base note, right? So it's comprised of a larger molecular structure. This is an incense perfume from which you are going to get really, really good longevity. And here's the thing, this smells quite different from any other incense perfume that I've tried. Of course, there are incense perfumes from the brand Parfumum Roma. Those are incredibly long lasting. There's also Incense Avignon by Comme des Garçons. And of course, they also have Kyoto, and they have a few different types of incenses. And those are really good, right? And that's all fine and good. But this one is very different, definitely stands out. Like I said before, Tom Ford Oud Wood vibes. If you like that fragrance, you're looking for kind of an incensey take, something with a hint of sweetness, but not a gourmand by any stretch of the imagination. 403 Myrrh Shadow by Bon Parfumeur is an amazing fragrance. And of course, the plus side of wearing something like this is you can guarantee you're not going to smell like anybody else because it just came out, fresh off the palette, as it were. This is a brand new release, and I own so many from Bon Parfumeur. Of course, I don't do a heck of a good job at memorizing the numbers and the fragrance that it corresponds with. I just know I love their leather, I love their tonka bean, and yes, I do even love 001, which is one of the citrus heavy fragrances. That's one that I wear when I get out of the shower. It's just, it prolongs that sensation of feeling fresh and clean. But please try Myrrh Shadow. Link is going to be down below. Once again, not an affiliate link, but I do want you to sample it, and I want you to discover this fragrance. I think it's super, super worth it. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, in my personal opinion, this one is unique. I know I made a few comparisons throughout the course of this video, but that's really just to kind of put you in the mindset of what to expect more or less from this fragrance. I'm not making a direct correlation with those other fragrances. It does stand on its own 2 legs. Please try this one. Longevity, 10 plus hours, projection beyond an arm's length for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And I think it all depends on how much you apply. For me personally, I always spray on clothing. So I typically get really good longevity, and I can smell it pretty consistently throughout the day. Versatility on this one, I know a lot of people will argue that it's masculine leaning, but for me personally, perfectly unisex. Even thinking about Oud Wood, right? I know I made that comparison, and I think at one point Oud Wood was Taylor Swift's signature scent. So I think in my mind, I'm kind of like inadvertently calling it unisex, but honestly, at the end of the day, it is marketed as unisex. I think this one is going to be great for the colder weather. If you live in a cooler climate, you'll really enjoy this one. And I think this one is going to cater to the sentiments of an older demographic. As far as the presentation is concerned, really cool presentation, especially when you have multiple bottles lined up. It just looks really, really nice. My final verdict on this fragrance is, I think it's a solid incense perfume for you to try. Look, here's the thing. If you're not a fan of incense, stay away. If you're not a fan of spice, if you're not a fan of that sort of vanilla incensey combination, stay away from this one. However, if you are a fan of this type of DNA, I know recently I also purchased Vanilla Firenze by Gucci, and that is a very spicy, slightly smoky sort of a vanilla incense fragrance. This would complement that very well in terms of the olfactive profile. So at the end of the day, sample it for yourself. Don't take my recommendation for it. I hope this just kind of puts you in the mindset of more or less what to expect when sampling it for yourself. You be the ultimate judge. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you took something of value from today's episode. And once again, I must reiterate, if you did take anything of value, please do consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. Thanks again for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow with a new episode.